For taking the time to tune in today, gosh, for a business planning workshop. We really admire you for taking the time to, better yourself and continue to develop. I'm Patrick. I work with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, Kansas City Homes, where I am one of our managing brokers of one of our 7 offices. And I also oversee the company training. I'm the trainer that helps to, grow and develop and continue to help our agents grow in their business, our 350 agents throughout the market. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. We set out, I really wanted to create this workshop that allows anybody, regardless of company, even if you're not one of our agents, to have the chance to develop a really good, strong business plan for next year. And hopefully that's what you see. I might throw a few Better Homes and Gardens plugs in there while I'm at it. But the biggest point of today is really to help you come up with a rock solid plan as we head into next year, especially. We know things are changing. The market's changing. We'll talk a lot about that today. And I've got a lot of good special guests with me too. This might be something that you take some notes on, might jog your memory of some things that you might implement in your business. And we're going to go through some actual real tasks that you can take down some notes and use for yourself, even if you're not one of our BHG agents. But we really appreciate you tuning in. I'm really passionate about business planning because I was an agent for 9 years before I stepped into leadership with the company. And I know how important it is to have a plan that's written down, something that you could look out throughout the year. And that's really what I'm going to help you come up with today. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of inspiration, but thanks for being here. I'm going to pull up my screen and show you just a couple of things as we get started. But if you have any questions as things go on, feel free to use the Q&A feature. I want to just give you a few reminders on the screen. As real estate agents, we're independent contractors, and anything that we talk about today, can't be used to establish an employee type of relationship. And of course, you are your own business owner. Do you like that size 4 font on the screen? But some good reminders as we start off some of the things that we're talking about today. But, really, things are changing in the market. Have you noticed that yourself? The market's changing, interest rates, inventory, home values. And you know what? We as real estate agents, we have to change with that market too. We have to adapt ourselves. And part of really growing your business is to have a written business plan. And that's really what it's all about today. We started and came up with this theme called GPS 2023. And you'll see on the screen that stands for Goal Planning Strategy. The whole point behind that is not just to have a clever name, although it is pretty clever, right? But GPS is, usually you think of it as being, you're that thing that guides you to where you're going in your car, your map system. But in the same way, that's kind of what your business plan is as an agent. And you think of it, the agents we know, the agents that have a written business plan sell statistically more homes than those that don't. And so throughout this next hour, I want to give you some motivation and inspiration and maybe even some permission to start fresh, start a new chapter, and start with this written plan that we're going to start working on today as we go along. We think about your business and, there's things that are changing. We talked about it a little bit earlier. The interest rates are changing, the market changes. We can't do anything about market conditions, right? Those things change throughout the time. That happens every year. We're seeing that now more than we've seen in several years in the marketplace. But also what else changes in real estate? Well, the seasonality, right? We, are headed into maybe a little bit slower of a season this time of year, historically speaking, than it is in May or June. But here's the reality. We as agents, we can't change the market conditions or the seasonality of the business. Those things are happening all the time, every year. There's one thing as an agent that you right here today have control over, and it's your lead generation. And that's the only thing as an agent that does go up and down sometimes, but you're in control of that third variable there. You're the one that's in charge of continually reaching new people and engaging clients to get business out of it. And so I want to inspire you by showing you, hey, it's your control. Look in the mirror. You're the one that's able to make the difference in your business. On the screen, there's a chart of things that go up and down. Inconsistent lead generation can lead to those, ebbs and flows in your business. Have you ever had that happen yourself where, you're working on closings, you're busy, you've got something coming up, and then, the paycheck came in, but I don't have anything coming up after that. What's my next closing? It may not be for weeks or months later. And that's the up and down that comes with inconsistent lead generation. And so a written business plan really does help you to overcome that. And hopefully you see that as we continue to talk about it today. Look at the charts on the screen. You'll see kind of that line that goes up and down, another ebb and flow of the market. And there's three types of profitability for a real estate agent's business. And I pulled this screen up to show you why business planning matters to you. I think we all want to be that bottom option where we're having the highest revenue possible every month, regardless of market conditions, regardless of what the interest rates are. And, the reality is a written plan that sets out the entire map, your GPS for the entire year, allows you to be a little bit more consistent, certainly a lot more consistent than if you didn't have a plan like that. Are there times in your life where you've made more money one month than you made in the last 3 months? On the flip side of that, is there a time where your expenses have exceeded the income that you've made as a real estate agent? If so, business planning is a great answer that helps you even out your ups and downs throughout the year, just like the lead generation, but a business plan helps to keep you on track. So let's think, before we get too deep into this plan, what are some common traits of entrepreneurs? Maybe you put them in the chat. I can certainly see your chat responses as we go. But, some positive common traits of entrepreneurs. Well, you're independent. You are a business owner. You are, a critical thinker. You're thinking of new ways of doing things all the time. Somebody in the chat said they're a marketer. That's very true. An entrepreneur is always thinking of new, good things that you can do for yourself. What are some negative things that entrepreneurs are known for? Is there any negative trait that an entrepreneur might be? I don't know. I can think of some myself. Maybe a procrastinator. Maybe you're too independent. You like working on your own and you don't like being told what to do. I can relate to that, and maybe that's you too. So think of the common traits of entrepreneurs and what you are in that. You are that business owner. And when you reflect on your previous year's business and think of some traits that might relate to you and who you are in your business, that helps you to come up with a plan overall for the year. So maybe on the page that you're taking notes today, think of some traits that you are when you're thinking of yourself and how that relates to you being a business owner, being that entrepreneur. I am excited because we have a couple of great entrepreneurs with our company. And one of them is Christian, our president and CEO. The other is Terry, our chief operating officer. And I was able to bring them both on today. They are spending a little bit of time with us, and I'm honored to have both of you here. So Christian, Terry, a big welcome to you. Let me just add a spotlight for all of us to be able to see each other here. And Terry, you come along. You guys are looking good today. Thanks for being here with me. But listen. This is exciting. We're doing this for all agents in all of Kansas City. We've got a great number of you tuned in today. And, that's just awesome that we're giving back to this real estate community that has built us up as a company. And, that's just kind of cool. So I want to start with you, Christian, and talk about, listen, you were an agent for many years before you stepped into leadership, and then ended up being, being an owner of our company that we're in today, and now president and CEO. So talk to me about why business planning was important to you as an agent, but also why you think it would be important to the 350 agents that are within our company.
So I am incredibly passionate about business planning because if you go back to that slide that you showed, the at-risk profitability versus predictable, I was the agent when I started that was at the top end of that graph, the at-risk. And I realized a couple of years in, I'm like, I'm doing this by accident. I'm not treating this like a business. I am working by accident, not on purpose. And I think for the most part, as I've really gotten to know agents and both inside our company, outside our company, and across the country, as I talk to them, there are very few that treat their real estate like a business. I think we lose sight of the fact that we're business owners. And I can't think of any business outside of real estate and inside that is successful and thrives without a business plan. And, it's something that as soon as I started as an agent, really thinking about what are the activities that I need to be doing on a consistent basis to be successful, I was working on accident. And I think that there's so many others out there, so many agents that get in and they just work by accident, and you deal with what's right in front of you, and you don't plan and you don't think about the things that you need to do consistently. So for me, that is a passion of mine, to make sure everybody has a plan.
Yeah. It really sets you apart that you've seen it from all angles. You've sat in that agent seat, you've sat in, an education trainer role with the company, and now as the company owner, think of our big company and maybe the companies that you all are tuned in as a part of. Think of your leadership. You better bet they have a written plan to keep the business afloat, especially in changing times. And so same thing for you. You as an agent, you're a business owner. And so really good insight. Terry, gosh, you've been in real estate leadership for your entire career. You're the daughter of a broker. And so tell us about, what makes you excited about business planning? What's your favorite part? You and I worked a lot together on this plan and this presentation today and all the stuff we've been doing. What's your favorite piece of business planning?
Well, I think I'm different than you, and I know you love budgeting. I'm so glad that you do, because I'm going to let you stick to that one. But anyway, yeah, budgeting is super important. And then I like that income one that you like too, where you decide how much your income needs to be, that goal or GCI. But if I have to pick my favorite, mine is the strategy of key activities I'm going to do every single day, every single month, and for the full year. Because I kind of want to know, what am I going to do every day? I like the no-brainer type of thing, show up to work and just have, okay, what am I going to do? So that works for me. So with that being said, I would like to set up my whole year ahead of time. And that means, like, what do I want to put on automation that just goes out regularly? So like at the beginning of the year, let's say it's our 2023 e-marketing plan. And I just set that up with all my clients and it goes out automatically. So when I get busy, I don't have to worry something's going out, right? That's the no-brainer part. And so that would be my easiest one. And then I would go from there and I would say, okay, my next one's my neighborhood news. I'm going to set up everybody I know on a neighborhood news that's going to let them know what the market's doing in their neighborhood, right? No brainer, goes out all year. If I get busy, that's still going out and it's a touch. And then maybe it's my just listed, just sold. It's a no brainer. It goes out every time I list something in sell. And it could be by our, Moxie. I've always had a CRM. I have never been in real estate without, a customer relationship management system, whether that was Top Producers when I first got in real estate or now for Moxie for us. So you could email, we could email that. Nowadays, you can put it on social media or you could do it as a mailing. But I always felt like an evidence of success had to be going out from me. So all those things for me are automation that just automatically goes. So that would be on my plan. And then for me, it would be like, okay, am I going to have so many open houses a month? I would put that on my plan. But now I am really a social media. And why am I a social media, Patrick? Because it's where the eyes are at. And everybody's on social media. I could never recreate the millions of people that are on social media. So I would also be a social media fan and set that up. But see, I think I go out and I look at people in these offices sometimes and they're like, I don't know what I should do this week. Well, I would have that planned out all ahead of time. So for me, being in the background that I've been in for most of my career, which was in management, I always would go out, and when I would take over an office, I would say, well, tell me what all is going on right now. And then I would just look at how many drip campaigns were going out, how many emails are going out, how many social media campaigns they have, who's got social media going on. And I could pretty much change the direction of an agent or an office fairly quick, because you got enough touches going and you got enough things going on, activities, you can change anybody's career. So for me, guess what? It's key activities. That's my favorite part.
I love it. Yeah, I think we had some takeaways there. One of them is to have a written plan, to have you guide you through the year, because we are those independent people, and sometimes that comes back to bite us, right? Number two, go where the eyes are. That's probably a good thing. Yeah, to advertise where people are seeing it. Gosh, I think you guys got some good free stuff there. I'm telling you. But Terry, Christian, thanks for spending a little time with us. And, gosh, we really appreciate you being here. So thanks for doing it. I've got some more content for the rest of us as we go on. Christian and Terry might stick around and say hi to us as we're going along too. But thanks for being there. I want to pull back my screen and show you kind of what I've got going on the rest when it comes to the rest of your plan for the rest of the day. So hopefully you took some good notes from Christian and Terry. I'm going to give you some good stuff to take some notes as we go along. Here's the thing. You are a business owner, right? And a lot of us have that license that says salesperson. And, I guess that's kind of what we are, but are we really salespeople? In reality, we're helping people feel good about the decisions that they're making as real estate agents. So you are a business owner. And just like Christian and Terry were talking about, shifting our way of thinking to being a CEO might be a good priority for you as you head into 2023. So what does an entrepreneur do that's different than a salesperson? Well, they treat their business like a business. And we're going to talk about some ways to do that here in the next few minutes. One of the ways to do that is with a SWOT analysis. Maybe you've done this for yourself before. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You see it there on the screen. And this would be a good thing to jot down on your paper today. SWOT, S-W-O-T. We're going to go through each one of these categories and maybe give you some inspiration specific to real estate of how you can perform one of these on yourself because they help you grow. Now, we'll start with the easy part. That's the strengths and the weaknesses. Usually those are pretty easy to come up, figure out what you're good and what you're not so good at. When you see on the screen strengths, maybe you've got a happy list of clients, people that you've closed deals on, whether you're happy with the number of deals that you've done or not, that's something else, but you've probably got some happy clients like Terry was talking about, your proof of success. And maybe that's one of your strengths that sets you apart in the marketplace. How about this? Maybe you're knowledgeable on contracts and market conditions. Now, on the flip side, maybe you're thinking, okay, maybe I need a little bit of help with contract training and market conditions so I can have those talking points with people, when they talk about real estate. It's an easy conversation. Maybe you need some of that guidance on those talking points. So maybe that's a weakness. Maybe that's a strength for you. You get to decide. Look at number 3 strength that says, do you have access to a large networking group? Maybe that's you. Maybe you're already part of a big sphere that you can tap into, whether they know that you're in real estate or not. That's a real strength for you, somebody that has a large network of people that you can reach. So you'll have more strengths, and sometimes the strengths are harder to come up with than the weaknesses. And so spend some extra time figuring out what you're good at, what sets you apart from your competition, and work on that as we continue our plan. Now, let's shift gears and look at the weaknesses and things that might relate to you. Does anybody ever feel like there's just not enough time in the day? Number one, yeah, I feel that way almost every day. But are there ways that we can help you improve with that? Is there time blocking or, the trendy word for it, calendaring? Can we help you time block your day off by making sure that you're getting time to work in your business and not just on your business? That's a big thing that sets you apart. So how can you turn that weakness into a strength? That'd be a good way to take your SWOT a step further. What about inconsistent branding? Are there agents out there that are doing it better than you? Are there agents that have better branding on social media and direct mail marketing and videos that they're doing? Are those things that you can improve? Is that a weakness? What about the next one? This is one I hear a lot. Hey, not enough people know I'm in real estate. Does that relate to you? If so, how can we take advantage of that large networking group and let more people know that you're in real estate? So strengths and weaknesses are the first 2 pillars of a SWOT analysis. And I'm going to go off script a little bit and tell you it's going to be easy to come up with weaknesses. That's just the reality. It's easy to beat yourself up. But if you look at your list and you say, you know what, I've got twice as many weaknesses as I do strengths, sit there and come up with some more strengths, things that you're good at. You know what? You got your real estate license. You're still in it. You've made it through tough markets. You attended the meeting. You came to Patrick's business planning session, things that you can be proud of to help to boost yourself up a little bit in the times that the things are a little rough. So strengths and weaknesses are usually pretty easy and self-explanatory, but don't let the weaknesses overtake the things that you're good at. Now, let's move and flip the screen and look at the O and T. That stands for opportunities and threats, and maybe you'll write that down on your page right now. On the screen, you'll see some example opportunities that I've come up with. Maybe an opportunity for you is kind of like what Terry was talking about, getting the eyes, you're advertising where the eyes are. And so maybe it's social media marketing. That's something you're going to take advantage of this upcoming season. Now, you know what? We hear that phrase a lot that we're moving through this turn. Real estate's changing. We're headed through the curve. We're headed through the turn. And so maybe this time of change, you're going to continue to learn. You're going to go to more continuing ed classes, or you're going to continue to develop your skills with a mentor or coach. Those are opportunities that, we have as a company, for instance, but maybe there's something that you can do to continue to have that commitment to growth and learning throughout these changing times. What about taking advantage of new technology? Is that an opportunity for you? Maybe there's that CRM that Terry was talking about, or the social media that's new technology, maybe to you. Maybe it's time to get that Instagram or TikTok, who knows? But the reality is that there are technology systems out there, like a good CRM, like a good e-marketing system, that can elevate your business to new levels and help to reclaim some of your time. Maybe that's some inspiration that I can give you today. Now, when you think of opportunities, I've been in a past life, I was in a job where they said the things that you needed to improve on were opportunities in our performance reviews. That's a nice way of saying, hey, you're not so good at this. This is an opportunity for you. But when you look at a SWOT, an opportunity is something that you can take advantage of. And so don't get caught up in the weaknesses again, like we were looking at earlier. Think of opportunities as things that you can take advantage of, whether it be technology or, opportunities that you have that are different than your competitors. That's the way to look at opportunities in your SWOT. Now, finally, in the SWOT is T. Let's say it together. That stands for threats. You're right. Yeah. So threats, here's one that I gave you. Changing market conditions. Is that something that we're all going to face? Are there things that are changing in the market with interest rates and inventory and home values? Just like I mentioned earlier, we have to be aware of those, not necessarily that we can do anything about them, but at least so that we know that there's something we have to face this upcoming year so we can overcome them with the opportunities and our strengths that we've talked about earlier in the SWOT. Are there competitors out there that have a better value proposition than you? That's a threat that I put as an example on this screen. Is there somebody out there doing it better with their marketing, with their listing presentation, with their customer service, with their client gifts, with their follow-up? Is there somebody out there that's doing it better that's a threat to you and your business? And so think of it from the outside too, looking at things that might set you apart, that you can then turn that from a threat into an opportunity. And finally, we know in the marketplace, there is a downward pressure on commission. And how are you going to overcome that? Are there ways that we can help you become better negotiators or help you to, learn how to increase your average sales price, ways that you can make more money in less amount of time and less number of deals, despite that downward pressure on commission? So in the last few minutes, we've helped you come up with this SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. And I hope that once we finish today, once we wrap up and part ways, I'd love for you to deepen this and continue to add more. Maybe I've given you some ideas today, but take it yourself and run with it and realize, because this SWOT helps you to get a real big picture, like Christian was talking about, a big picture image of your business that helps you to become that CEO, that better business owner. So hopefully the SWOT was helpful to you. Take some good notes of it. And I'm going to move on to the next chapter of our day here and show you what I'm talking about next. In real estate, there's a lead time, just like any business. Think about a factory that's making, cars or, a piece of furniture that you're going to buy. There's a lead time that comes with that. With manufacturing, you have to get a purchase order. You've got to order the materials. You've got to hire the people to be on the assembly line. You've got to ship the product to the final salesperson. You got to hire the person to sell it. Then you got to do the sale and convince the person to buy it for the certain price. And then finally, at the end of the day, your lead time is done with a closed, maybe purchase of a car, for example. Same thing in real estate. We have a lead time in this business too. You know it just as well as I do. It takes time. You get a lead, you got to work on them. You got to convert the lead. Sometimes it doesn't work out. These days we're showing them houses, and the good houses, they're still selling quickly. So we've got to write offers on multiple homes sometimes, or we've got to prepare the client's listing for sale. Then we've got to negotiate offers, go through inspections and appraisals, deal with anything that comes up through that process. Finally, we have the closing day. Hopefully it's on time. Once you get the closing, you got to finish the paperwork. And then finally you get paid, right? That's our lead time. And in average, we've calculated that equals out to be about 100 days normally for an average agent between the time that they get that lead and they close the deal. And so, everything that we're doing right now, when you're watching this, when you're tuned in, listening to me, fill your day with a bunch of business planning, you're about 100 days out from your next paycheck if you got a lead right here today. And guess what? No matter when you're watching it, that's 2023. And so it's really important to remember that we have this lead time. How can we overcome that? Well, this written plan that keeps you on track throughout the year is a great way to do that. And right now, I just want to help you come up with some goals. I kind of want to, make a new page on your notes that you're taking and just help you come up with some actionable, measurable goals. I'm going to help you with that right now. Are you ready? On this slide, I want to introduce the tactic that's called the 1-3-5 method, and it's part of our SMART goal planning. SMART stands for, you'll see it there, it's smart, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time specific. Because your why in real estate is really a lot bigger than just needing to make money. You have goals that are maybe to pay off debt or to benefit your family in the long run or go on a trip, or there's a why you get out of bed and why you got into real estate, why you went through that process to get licensed originally and stay in it today. You had that motivation originally, and I'm going to pull that back out when you think about why you're still in the business. And part of doing that is coming up with these SMART goals. And we've come up with this method called the 1-3-5. It lets you set one main goal, and underneath that, there's 3 strategies that help you reach that main goal. And then underneath those 3 strategies, there's 5 tactics that we're going to show you that help you reach that strategy. And I've given you an example to make it easy. And maybe on your paper, you're going to draw some lines on there, just like I have up on the screen. Maybe you've got the big overarching theme of one big goal. Now, money, it's an easy goal. That's why I use it as an example today. But remember, money isn't everything. And maybe you have a goal that's not tied to a dollar figure. That's perfectly fine too. And so I would challenge you to go a little deeper when it comes to goal planning. But to keep it easy today, I put that, let's say, $75,000 income goal at the top as being my one main goal. Now, you'll see on the screen, I've broken it down into 3 different strategies to be able to hit this goal. And we've talked about them today. It's nothing new. I'm not teaching you anything groundbreaking. But hey, strategy number 1, reach more people. Strategy number 2, develop my skills. And strategy number 3, that's kind of hiding behind my video a little bit there, it says be the CEO. Be that business owner like we've talked about today. Maybe I've given you 3 free ones right there. Feel free to use them. Now, let's look at it. We're going to have 5 tactics underneath each of these strategies. And so let's look at reaching more people. What are ways that you can do that? Maybe you're going to come up with a contact database and a way to reach those people that are in your sphere of influence or your circle of influence, whatever you call it. Maybe there's a contact plan that you can come up with to help stay in touch with those people. Are there systems that you have in place that can automate that? Is there something like Terry was mentioning, a monthly report on neighborhood stats that they can get every month that you can take advantage of? If not, think outside the box and maybe add something like that to your business. Also, are there things that you could do in social media to reach more people? Maybe that's one of your 5 tactics. Maybe automating that a little bit and finding good sources for content and using that 80-20 rule where 80% of your posts are personal and 20% are business related. Maybe that's something you can tie in. Reaching more people, maybe you join a networking group. That's always a good idea. What are some other things that you might do? Maybe you put some in the chat or write down some on those other lines. And you don't have to stop at 5. Feel free to use the ones that you want. But the 3 that I have as examples are good starting points. Maybe you're going to do a farm-in neighborhood. Maybe you're going to hold more open houses next year as homes are staying in the market a little bit longer. These are ways that you can reach more people that hopefully have given you some inspiration today. Let's look at the middle strategy. It's developing my skills. Maybe you need to find a coach or a mentor. Is there somebody that you can rely on? Somebody like me that's here with you today, sharing what my knowledge is and allowing you to run with it and make it your own. So finding somebody that can help you develop your skills is a great way to continue to grow and make that $75,000 goal or whatever yours might be. Maybe you need to practice some scripting. We've got great resources on that. Even at the association level with KCRAR has some great scripting inside the agent toolkit on the education page of the portal. So maybe that's something that you take advantage of. I don't know. How about you? Do you need to stay awake more during CE? I don't know, Terry and Christian. We do pretty good at that, right? Hopefully our classes are exciting enough that you stay awake, but especially mine today that you're tuned into. But maybe there are some more things that you can do to develop your skills as an agent. Let's look at the final column. I know it's kind of covered a little bit by my camera, but being the CEO, honestly, if I had to pick one of these strategies, that would probably be the most important one to help me reach my income goal for the year. And so maybe we'll do what I talked about earlier, embrace time blocking, do that calendaring, work on your business and in your business, but separate that time and don't waver from it. Set it and know that everybody around you knows this is my prospecting time. Is that something that you can implement in your business? Maybe as part of that, you need to set some boundaries, not only with maybe a spouse or a coworker or a team member, or even your broker or support staff, but maybe you're setting boundaries with your clients too. Maybe your buyers need to go do a drive-by of the neighborhood before they decide they want to spend time and see the house. As things stay on the market, we can set those boundaries with our clients, and that allows you to have better use of your time so you can work with more clients at the same time to help you be able to reach your big income goal. As an agent, maybe it's time to take yourself to the next level with your branding. I put that in as an example under Be the CEO, investing in your branding. Is that something that you can do? Maybe it's time for a rebrand. Hire somebody to create a logo, or use somebody that's on your team or somebody that you're aware of to invest in yourself with a brand that ties in with the brokerage that you're with, or that you can branch out on your own, or maybe it's time to look at your options when it comes to your branding to best relate to you and how you want to be portrayed as a real estate leader in the marketplace. So here I am. I gave you 3 ideas for each. All you've got to do is come up with 2 more. And I hope you come up with some more on your own too. But this was strategic goal planning. All we did is start with one big goal. We had 3 strategies underneath that. And then we worked with 5 tactics underneath those 3 strategies to help you reach that one big goal. Now, you could have multiple of these goals. Maybe one of them is tied to your income. Maybe one of them is tied to reaching more people. Maybe that could be a big goal overall. So use as many of these as you want to help plan for next year, because doing it now allows you to start January off running. You've got it written down. You know what you need to do. You can come up with the actionable plan like Terry was talking about to be able to run with it for the rest of the year. So hopefully this was helpful to you when it comes to planning for next year. So here's something I want you to think about as an agent this year, as we head into 2023. Think about things that are your money makers. I've listed some on the screen, things like lead generation. Obviously, the more leads you generate, hopefully the more commission you make. Same thing with your presentations, whether you're out on a listing presentation or an initial buyer consultation. Those are things that lead for you to have direct income. That's your money maker. Now, also client service, being known as somebody that's a leader in the market that has great client service, that people, you're making memorable experiences for them. They leave you good testimonials. That's that proof of success that Terry was talking about. And so those 3 things are really, in my mind, your money makers. What are other money makers to you? Maybe you can jot some of those down and use that as we think about your business planning throughout the year. Maybe it's your marketing that sets you apart, or maybe it's some of those numbers that Terry told you I was really good at. Maybe you're great at your average sales price or the list to close price ratio. Maybe those are things that are your money makers. You can use those as talking points with your clients. Those are great things to make note of too. When you think of marketing yourself, I want to ask you kind of a rhetorical question. How will you connect with your consumers in 2023? As things change, the consumers need maybe a little bit more touching in a marketing sense to be able to make a purchasing decision. Just last month in September, really, the Missouri licensees renewed their licenses, the salespeople, all of us throughout the state renewed. And in Missouri, 86% of salesperson licensees renewed their license. And normally it's in the 90% range, 95, 96, somewhere around there. So 86% of the licensees renewed their license. That's a pretty big drop off. And we're going to continue to see that as we head into the next year, and especially in the next renewal cycle, because as times get tough, you know what? You've heard it before, the tough got to get going. And you're going to be one of those with this written plan that helps you move on into the future with a strong foundation. That's what it's all about. So as things change and markets change, like I said at the beginning, we have to change as agents, and you've got to connect with your consumers in ways that you haven't had to do in a little while. I'll be blunt and take it the right way, but it's been pretty easy to sell houses over these last few years. Am I right? You put a sign in the yard, you put it online, and you get a buyer pretty quickly, sometimes within hours. Now, as markets level out and change, that means that you've got to find new ways to connect with people and show your value. And that's where connecting with these people and some of these marketing ideas that we're going to talk about now will help you. As a brand, we have the unique relationship with Dotdash Meredith. They own that Better Homes and Gardens name. And Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate is part of that licensing arrangement. And because of that, we've got unique marketing opportunities for our agents to take advantage of. One of them you'll see is the BHG magazine, and you'll see the 100th anniversary celebration edition that was just a couple months ago. Our agents have the ability to customize the cover of the magazine and send that out to the people that are in their sphere or a farming neighborhood for less than $15 a year for an annual, a monthly touch point that reaches their contacts with their name, branding, and face right there on the cover of a feel-good, nostalgic mailing that comes out to them every month. At the same time, our agents have access to really great branding like the urban, suburban lawn guide down at the bottom of the screen, or the Design 101 or Curb Appeal 101 that you see there. Same thing with the cookbook. Those make great closing gifts. So think of things that set you apart from your competition, and maybe you don't have access to these at the brand that you're with now. That was my plug for Better Homes and Gardens. So great marketing that you're able to take advantage of. But what are things that are different than what you've been doing that can set you apart? Here are some examples of what we're able to do as part of the brand, and hopefully have given you some inspiration of how you can connect with your consumers in the future too. In 2023, it's really going to be about going kind of back to the basics, things that, we haven't had to do for a while when it comes to open houses or those just listed, just sold postcards or other farming mailings that you can do to your sphere or a farming neighborhood. And I put a calendar on there because that's that time blocking. That's that calendaring to set the time apart for your prospecting, for actually picking up the phone and making voice-to-voice or text-to-text conversations with people that engage them. Maybe there's other things that you can do that go back to basics to market yourself, like pop buys or portfolio reviews. Lots of other things that you can do to engage with yourself that we've been talking a little bit about today. But that really probably would be a great theme for you as you head into this new year, going back to the basics, the tried and true things that help you build business with new buyers and sellers. I want to show you this quick video on a social tool that we have access to. It's less than a minute long. I promise it's not too much of the drinking the Kool-Aid, but I think it's really valuable to help you see how you can engage social media as an agent as we head into the new year. Take a look.
Social media, like it or not, it's everywhere. But between posts, reposts, follows, and friend requests, for agents short on time and resources, it can all be just a little overwhelming. Until now. Exclusively for Better Homes and Gardens real estate affiliated agents and brokers, a way to organize, stay informed, and share content relevant to your brand, industry, and community.
Well, I had good intentions, but we'll stop it there. A great social media tool that we do have access to that I'd encourage you to think about how you're going to engage with social yourself. Is there a system out there that you can schedule posts out into the future and pull great relatable content that relates well to your consumers? Or is there something, a system that you can take advantage of, similar to the one that I was showing you on the screen? But great ways that you can market yourself on social that get you where the eyes are, but also allow people to engage. They're reacting to the posts, whether it be Instagram or Facebook or some other social media platform. But it's also content that establishes you as that home expert, somebody that knows homes, you know how to sell them, you know what the lifestyle is like living in these neighborhoods that you're working and selling in. And so social media content that relates to people, that's not always about the numbers or another home that you sold, a proof of success, but instead is relatable content. That'd be a great way to market yourself on social. So giving you some ideas there. At our company, we have a great set of marketing experts. Casey oversees our marketing team as the director of marketing, and Kaylee and Claire work under her, helping our agents to market themselves, whether it be on social media or in print or in some other form, like a presentation when they go out to meet with their buyers and sellers. I've got two of them here today, Casey and Kaylee. You guys are my experts, and you're on as my special guest. So I appreciate you guys being here. Let me pin you up so everybody can see you. But I really appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. I want to really start with you, Casey. Casey, you are our director of marketing. You oversee the entire marketing department, and you guys are busy. You're working with agents all the time. You look not only at the company level, but you're kind of like this, I'm going to go off script when I say it. You're kind of like this PR agency for our agents without even realizing it. You know, like every agent has their own little marketing department wrapped up into one. I think that's kind of cool. So listen, you're talking to agents all the time. You know the agent business, you know what agents are doing. And if you were an agent, let's say you were, what would you be doing in 2023 to market yourself, whether you were our agent or somebody else's? Let's tell the people what you would do.
Right. Well, thank you, Patrick. Yes, I would say video, like tons of video. But as far as my top 3 things that I tell agents a lot is brand, content, and promote. So branding yourself to me is really important. I think getting a really clean, simple mark. I tell agents a lot, don't make it all really big or really horizontal or vertical. Just make it really, really small to where if it was really, really small, it'd still be visible. So whether that's, you know, and also make sure that when it's black and white, because a lot of times if you have to do anything that it can be black and white, but I think clean and simple is the way to go as far as branding. And then content. So creating content, like again, what I said, video, it's just huge. Kaylee and I push it all the time. As well, I know you do too, but I think it's important. I think if people are always embarrassed or they overthink it, or they do a lot of videos and they won't post them or they won't do anything with them, it's just like start it. And once you start it, you're going to get better and better and better. And, you know, you can start off by like just introducing yourself. So that's one, just doing something small. I think the shorter the video, the better. Don't like make it extremely long. Don't do anything, you know, crazy with it. But like you can talk about the home buying experience or the selling experience. You can do myth busts. You know, I think those are, I think every time I see people do those, I think those are always interesting and fun. You can talk stats. Everyone likes to talk about the market. Everybody wants to know about it. I personally really like the Curb Appeal. When you showed that Better Homes and Gardens Curb Appeal book, I really like that one. That's one of my favorites. But yeah, I think, you know, as far as content creating, like as far as videos, I think is good, but also creating or designing, and you can pay people to do that. So you can do this yourselves. Canva is a very easy platform too. But, you know, creating stuff as far as posts and flyers and ads and emails and postcards, I know that can be overwhelming, but I think if you start small with it, the first one, as far as content, I would say video. And then the third, as far as promoting yourself, and using all that stuff and promoting yourself, I think is big. So like, still, like I said, with flyers and postcards, you know, there's the print side, which I think people are like, oh, print's dead. I don't believe that. I think print is still valuable. I still look at things that come in the mail. And then obviously digital with the side of social. The social's huge. I do think people need to be on there. I know Kaylee will touch points on that. But, you know, 1 to 3 times a week, if not more, I think, you know, sharing those videos that you're creating, I think is important. Creating reels. The more you're doing some of these new things that Instagram and Facebook are offering, the more you can cut through a lot of that, I feel like, traffic and that saturation that everybody's on there with. Signs, Terry kind of mentioned it, but open houses, and you talked about open houses. I think they're becoming more of that. I think, you know, having 8 signs and, you know, getting your name out there more, I think that's just huge. You know, email, of course, you know, I don't think you do too much of it. I think you don't want to, you know, inundate people and have them unsubscribe. So I think, you know, but still having that content, that information, and some of that very, like, as you mentioned, the automation side of it can be really easy too. You know, we want to get more into texting as well, but you don't want to dominate somebody where they want to unsubscribe and not follow your stuff. So yeah, those would be my 3: brand, content, and create and promote.
I love that. I hope you guys wrote that down. That was like a whole page worth of good content.
Sorry.
I loved it. I think that's awesome. That's what we're here for today, is to help the agents in the entire market find new ways to set themselves apart, because, you know, in changing times, we have to market ourselves. That's just the way it's going to be in real estate in the future. And I want you, the one that's tuned into this today, I want you to be here this time next year when I'm doing this planning session, still in the business and still marketing. So Casey, thank you for that. I really appreciate you being here. Kaylee, we're excited to have you on board as our marketing manager. You've been doing some awesome work. You're the one that meets with the agents and offers free consultations with them, you know, like at 30-minute blocks and stuff like that. And you've met with a lot of successful agents. So I wanted to pull you in and get your input on, you know, the agents that you're meeting with that are winning, the ones that are winning business and making money. What are they doing? How could that help the agents that are tuned in today?
Yeah, so these successful agents are all kind of doing the same thing. They're showing up, they're trying new things, they're asking for help, and they're stepping outside of their comfort zone to create that exciting content that follows the trends. So yes, that includes being on camera and creating TikToks and Reels, because that's what matters right now, like Casey said. And these people are being really consistent in the way that they're posting. They've really made an effort to move that social media strategy and that social media marketing to their list of strengths. And they don't they don't beat themselves up when they don't see success right away. Success in marketing and social media looks different for everyone. So they keep trying, they keep pushing themselves, and they keep trying new things, and they keep trying new trends until they find exactly what works for them.
You guys are so good. Isn't that good inspiration for you to become a better branding agent, a better marketer for yourself this year? So Kaylee, Casey, thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate the time you took with us. And hopefully that helps you, those of you that are tuned in. But thanks, ladies. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Patrick.
All right, I'll see you soon. Maybe we'll go to happy hour afterwards. But listen, you guys are, hopefully you were in for a treat today. I really enjoyed the content that we had for you. And, maybe it inspired you to think about, what, maybe it's time to do this a little bit deeper. Is it time to go and do a full business plan and use our entire workbook that we have access to the agents that are within our network? I wanted to give you some freebies today, no matter what company you're with, because to me, it doesn't matter what brand you're with. It doesn't matter what color your sign is. But I'll be honest, I've been with this company for almost 11 years. We have what it takes to help our agents grow and develop and become stronger and make more money. If that's what they want to do, that's what we're here for. And part of that is this GPS plan, this goal planning strategy. So if there's anything that we can do to help you with that budgeting piece that Terry mentioned, to help you come up with the actionable monthly and quarterly actual marketing pieces that you're going to do, or maybe it's just time to rebrand yourself like we've talked about today, that's something that we'd love to hear from you. And I'd love to have that confidential conversation with you, whether it be to join me in my office or to partner you with one of our other great full-time non-selling brokers at one of our 7 offices throughout Kansas City. So thanks for taking the time to tune in today. That's all from over here at Lee's Summit. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one. Talk to you soon.